July 1999. The day when, after a long, arduous battle of over 60 days, the Indian Army regained possession of Kargil and the infiltrated areas. The high altitude of 18,000 feet, rocky terrain and extreme low temperature, the Indian Army faced it all and fought valiantly. Operation Vijay was finally successful. This day is marked in the history of India as Kargil Vijay Divas to commemorate the sacrifice made by our brave soldiers who laid their lives down for the nation, emerging victorious in this war against Pakistan.
Hello and welcome to an India Today special that comes to you from what was 17 years ago the high altitude battlefield of Kargil, Dras and Batalik. I'm Gaurav Sawant and with me is Gul Panag, a fellow army brat.
And we're on this journey, and I would call it a pilgrimage, to find out what makes the armed forces, their families special, what sets them apart, what makes them a breed in fact apart from everybody else, what makes them tough to the core.
This was a battle that was fought against all odds and won. We're taking you to that battlefield once again to meet the bravest of the brave and their families.
And time to hit the road now to get going. So I think it's time we picked up pace and got on our way to Kargil.
It's a 7-hour drive and just now when we drive Gul, it's very comfortable, great daylight. But during the Kargil conflict...
Correct, you based here during the Kargil war.
Throughout the 2.5 months. I came in May, left end July. And that time when you travel on these roads, because Pakistan could see you from across the hill.
Even on these ones?
So more towards Kaksar. Okay. And on these roads, the SOP would be don't switch on your lights and you'd actually drive either in moonlight or torchlight.
Wow.
So you and I will take turns to drive.
Yes, I'm waiting for my turn to drive. There is no place like Ladakh.
Oh, absolutely. And the moment we get into Batalik or Kaksar, Kargil or Dras, there you'd realize what beautiful mountains, but what a difficult war to fight and win against all odds.
I can imagine, because not only, I mean, any war is difficult to begin with, but to fight it in that altitude, very little acclimatization, because we were on the defensive there, and to still come out on top is, I think, is what the true spirit of the Indian Army is made of.
कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा खुशी के गीत गाए जा ये जिंदगी है कौम की तू कौम पे लुटाए जा कदम कदम बढ़ाए जा खुशी के गीत गाए जा ये जिंदगी है कौम की तू कौम पे लुटाए जा.
How can man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? We are here at the Kargil War Memorial at this point of time. This is Tololing, the first victory in Kargil on the 13th of June 1999, when 100 guns fired together at one Pakistani occupied bunker and destroyed it. The bravery of the 2nd Battalion of the Rajputana Rifles. And with me here are people of this country, overwhelmed being here. आप लोग कहाँ से हैं और क्यों आए हैं यहाँ पर?
सर, हम लोग पुणे से आए हैं और करीबन हम लोग 35 लोग हैं और हम लोग इस दिन के लिए यहाँ पर आए कि आज हम लोग आके इधर श्रद्धा सुमन अर्पित करेंगे.
गुल, this shows what makes this nation come together? The love for our warriors.
I think absolutely there's nothing like the tribute and the devotion that you can see people have for our heroes and these people who have actually fallen to make sure that we live comfortably in our homes and that we have better tomorrows. I think that is the greatest tribute. To me, this place is above any other place.
आप तो भाव विभोर हो गई. आप कहाँ से आई हैं?
पुणे से आई है.
और यहाँ के आपकी आंखों में पानी एकाएक आ गया. यहाँ के आपको क्या अनुभव हुआ? आपके परिवार से कोई है क्या सेना में?
नहीं, मेरा जाना चाहिए ऐसा था मन में, लेकिन नहीं है. लेकिन वो सब है, वो मेरे ही बेटे हैं. जो है वो भी तो आप ही के मेरे ही बेटे हैं.
While it does make your heart very heavy and it does make your eyes moist, but I think we must not forget that this is a very, very hard-earned victory. It's a victory that's cost us the lives of brave men, officers and soldiers. And I think it's important that we celebrate that spirit as well. आंसू भी आते हैं लेकिन वो खुशी के आंसू होने चाहिए.
निश्चित तौर पर, और यही बात यहाँ पर लिखी भी है. शहीदों की चिताओं पर लगेंगे हर बरस मेले, वतन पर मर मिटने वालों का यही बाकी निशा होगा. तो आपसे अगर पूछे, आप अपने मन से इस समय क्या कहना चाहते हैं? भारत माता की जय! भारत माता की जय! In 1999, this feature was held by the Pakistani troops, and it took great bravery and gallantry on the part of the Indian Army to win this feature and then move on all the way to the line of control. And with me here at the Dras Memorial are some of those gallant officers who fought the war in the Dras and the Batalik sector. Colonel Amit Aul, then a young captain, he was awarded the Sena Medal for gallantry. Colonel Aul, in Dras, at the Tololing feature at that point of time, the Pakistanis were right here. What makes you so tough, soldiers so tough to fight them against all odds?
Nationalism. It's just nationalism, pure nationalism. This is what we are trained for. And the fever of war was so high that we were raring to go.
Also with us is Brigadier Subramaniam, a gunner officer, and the gunners had a very, very crucial role in Op Vijay. Sir, describe to us the grit, the determination that was on ground at that point of time.
22 years of training in gunnery. Okay. And this was the one and only opportunity that my regiment and I were getting. Okay. And we had to show to the Pakistanis that what we were made of. Okay. And that was a primary concern. That was the primary aim of us, to give it back to him.
Colonel Mendirata, you tell us about the offensive operations that were mounted, where what Pakistan did to India, India paid back.
Absolutely. I remember on the 5th of June when my regiment landed, I was called by General Mahendra Puri and said, maybe we will have to launch the operation on Tololing. That is the first objective. My commander told me that the fire plan would be made by you. So right from that day, that's from 5th of June, we started preparing for it. You talked about the 100 guns. General Lakwinder, then Brigadier Lakwinder, who was the commander here, he believed in this concept. He says, saturate the enemy. Basically, to put it in a nutshell, 100 guns were directed at Tololing. We were moving up the cliff. The enemy was sitting in prepared bunkers. He was taking pot shots at us. So the aim was that he should not be able to take aimed fire at us. And that we could only do if the artillery fire was put on the objective in such a manner that his head is also down when we are moving up. Right from 8th June to 12th June, there was not a time when there was not being fired upon.
General Panag, former Army Commander, Northern Command. General Panag, welcome on the show. Sir, we see this 155mm howitzer very proudly standing at the Dras Memorial. But when you took your brigade immediately after Op Vijay, tell us, sir, what did it take to make these soldiers so tough to fight to win?
I think I was lucky that when I took over 192, I had 3 Punjab, which was the original occupant of the Batalik sector. Plus we had first Bihar, which had captured Jubar and then some of the features beyond. And also under my command was 14 Sikh, which had taken part in Chor Batla sector. And then also 2nd Rajrif, which was the Div Reserve, came under my command for training, which had captured Tululing right behind us. So these were seasoned units. At the end of every war, no matter how well we performed, there are always lessons learned. And one of the lessons that I felt that we learnt was, and on which we had to focus, was that it is one thing to have defensive positions in mountains where you can serve for a long duration, but then you get used to the idea of living in high altitude. But fighting in high altitude, that is for offensive operations, requires a different technique. It requires much more physical toughness and resilience.
While the Indian Army is trained to be tough both physically and mentally, difficult terrains like Kargil require special acclimatizing training. The Kargil Battle School is a deposition and systematic combatant structure of the Indian Army troops, which trains Jawans in mountain climbing and high-altitude warfare. Only the best of the best pass out of KBS, as it offers extremely rigorous training.
Most difficult areas in the world for deployment, and also one of the coldest regions in the world. Our Jawans who are coming from the peace areas are undergoing the training before getting inducted to these posts. And the training, which is imparted for 3 to 4 weeks, includes acclimatization, their medical, icecraft training, rockcraft training, avalanche rescue training. After having finished the training, a Jawan is capable of surviving and working in an environment in a manner that he can give a befitting reply to the enemy in the forward line of control.
The Kargil War was the litmus test of toughness for our soldiers, and they passed it with flying colours. Toughness being the most important virtues of the Indian Army. Paramveer Chakra awardee Naib Subedar Yogendra Singh Yadav exemplifies exactly that. Born in Aurangabad village, Uttar Pradesh, he was awarded the Paramveer Chakra for exemplary courage in the face of an enemy attack. His platoon was part of the Ghatak Commando unit tasked to capture 3 bunkers on Tiger Hill. On the morning of the 4th of July 1999, at a height of 16,500 feet, his platoon was to reach the top of a snow-covered cliff. He volunteered to fix the rope for soldiers to reach the top. He was fired upon by machine guns and rockets and sustained bullet wounds on his groin and shoulder. Despite grievous injuries, he reached the top and killed 4 Pakistani soldiers and neutralized the fire. His act of valor did not stop there. Yogendra killed another 4 in hand-to-hand combat. Despite his injuries, he inspired others to charge and displayed exemplary grit, determination and toughness under an extreme situation.
We are at the Kargil War Memorial in Dras. Not a dry eye here, as relatives, next of kin, soldiers who fought in this battle, they paid homage to those who made the supreme sacrifice of their lives in this very, very difficult operation, won against all odds. We are right next to that Tololing mountain. Now this is where the first victory was won, and with me here are 2 brave daughters of Major C.B. Dwivedi. When you come here to Dras and you look at that battlefield where your father made the supreme sacrifice of his life, what goes through your mind?
I can't say it enough. I don't know how to put it in words. I'm just proud and happy, and the happiest daughter in the world. Not sad. I won't cry. I'll be happy.
I'm pretty sure that we had the best father in the world, because
I mean, I don't think that he ever even thought about not writing to us. We would never miss a postman coming and not coming with letters for us.
This Tololing mountain right here, Scotland to Pundir, he was flying his Mi-17 helicopter when it was struck by a Pakistani Stinger. When you see this mountain 17 years after that war, what memory of your father comes to you?
Well, I always remember him as someone who was passionate about flying, and besides that, he was a wonderful singer and an avid reader. So I'm absolutely overwhelmed to be standing here in front of the Tololing.
Gul Panag's also with us, a Fauji daughter. As a Fauji daughter who's come here with her father, and as somebody who's had friends who fought in this battle, what goes through your mind, Gul?
I think, I mean, to know that people have made the supreme sacrifice here, to be standing with daughters of officers and men who've laid down their lives here, it's a very humbling feeling. And what you realize is not only are, of course, the soldiers and men of the Indian Army very brave, but it's their children, their wives that are so brave, that accept the fact that their husbands and their fathers will put the nation before them. And I think it's that bravery that usually goes unsung. And that's something that needs to be celebrated.
The Kargil War saw many families of these courageous soldiers braving the hard times with great pride. Captain Vikram Batra's family too embraced his sacrifice with their head held high. All of 24 years old, Captain Vikram Batra showed unmatched courage during the Kargil War and was awarded the Paramveer Chakra posthumously. Born in Palampur, Himachal Pradesh, he was from a humble middle-class background. Batra was selected at the Indian Military Academy in Dehradun in 1996.
I will as in duty bound. Honestly and faithfully. Serve in the regular army. Of the Union of India.
He was commissioned in the Jammu and Kashmir Rifles at Sopore as a lieutenant. He soon rose to the rank of captain. On the 1st of June 1999, he was posted in Kargil after the start of a warlike situation with Pakistan in that area. From the subsectors of Dras and Batalik, he was sent to capture the significant peak .5140. Popularly known as Sher Shah, he along with his Delta company decided to attack the enemy by surprise from the rear. As they neared the top of the sheer cliff edge, the enemy was alerted and started firing with machine guns. Regardless of their safety, the team under his motivation kept moving and blew up the machine gun post by hurling 2 grenades. Despite being seriously injured, he inspired his team to fulfill their mission. .5140 was captured at 3:30 a.m. on the 20th of June 1999. The Kargil War was won under extremely tough conditions, but the Jawans never gave up. There was no scope for doubt. Victory was the only answer, and they would not have it any other way. It is this spirit of victory that makes them go the extra mile, and that's what makes them the best. Captain Manoj Kumar Pandey was no different. A keen sportsman since childhood, Manoj hailed from a small town in Sitapur in Uttar Pradesh. He graduated from the National Defence Academy in the 90th course and joined the Gorkha Rifles. He took an active part in many attacks during the Kargil War. On the night of the 2nd to 3rd July, he was leading his platoon with the objective of clearing Jubar Top, which was a very strategic point in the area and the war. On being fired upon, while still on a narrow ledge, Manoj showed exceptional courage. He let out a battle cry and charged on the enemy, inspiring his troops to do the same. Even with several bullet injuries, he killed 2 enemy soldiers in hand-to-hand combat and went on to capture the point. While the nation's martyrs rest in peace, their valor etched in stone, the stories of their courage and determination will continue to linger on and motivate others to do more for the nation for many years to come.
There are men here, 569 of them, who gave away their today so we could have a better tomorrow.
There are no seconds in the war. There are no seconds. It's only the victors. The nation comes first, always and everywhere. Your own family, your own comfort comes last.
I'm absolutely proud to have been part of this great organization and also having commanded the Northern Command.
I'm extremely proud of my dad. Whatever I am today, it is because of him.
The pride is no less. I don't regret a minute of anything, and I'm just very proud to be able to stand here and because of our father. It never came to my mind that he shouldn't have joined the army. He should have joined the army. This was the place to be.